Welcome to Lizzie U. I'm Sandra Ryerson, and today we're going to talk about nesting a pattern within your original Quilt Magician program. A couple of things that we're going to need is a marking device. Now this could be, again, one that stays that you'll need to wash out, or it could be the kind that disappears over time, but you will need some type of marking utensil in order to be able to get our nesting correct. So I have a pattern here already established, and normally we're looking at nesting when we're doing a pantograph situation. So I have my pattern established and I have it stitched out. In order to nest, to get things going evenly, all the same, all the way down your entire quilt top, we'll be going to the second icon, the one here that is the pad and pencil, and we'll be touching that. And as you go down, you will see the word nest. We'll touch that. Now, we're going to follow the directions on the screen. It says move the machine to the lower left corner of your quilting area. So we'll move this over to our lower left, and we will say OK. Now it says to mark this location. Our machine is locked in this position. So we're going to mark, and I like to mark just to the left of the foot in line with the needle. Once I have this marked, and it can be just a little line or a dot, click OK. And now it says move the machine to the lower right corner of your quilting area. So we will move our machine over to our right area. Again, clicking OK, and again it says to mark this location. And again, our machine is locked at this point. So we're marking our location. Now we'll say OK. Now you're going to see a notice here that says this is when you can roll your quilt top. At this point, we have enough room in our quilt area here that we don't have to worry about moving our quilts at all in order to have room to accept the next row. But you would do this if your quilt pattern now is going to hit up against your take-up rail. So we're just going to say OK because I don't need to roll it at this point. So now we're going to follow the directions of moving the machine to your first mark. So again, we're going to move our machine over, aligning our foot needle area with the mark that we put on our quilt top, and we'll say OK. Now it says move it to our second mark, which is over here on our right side, and we're going to say OK. Now you notice our screen has changed. Right now we have blue crosshairs that are moving around as we move our machine. We also see our pattern within our screen area, and it says to select a nesting point. I like to take the topmost point of my pattern, generally in the center area, in order to establish that set point. So we're going to move our crosshairs to the top of our pattern, right in the middle. So I'm pretty much in the middle of my pattern going left to right, and right at the top of my pattern here at this loop above our daisy. I'm going to click the check mark. Now you see our screen has changed again. This shows us our existing pattern that we've already stitched out, and now it's showing us this is our next one that we're going to talk about stitching in our area. How close do we want that to be? This is where you can move your pattern in and out, side to side. So if we're coming in and establishing that we'd like to have this nest or swoop right in and follow the lines, and we're going to be looking at how are we as far as this flower touching that loop we can adjust slightly. And if that's the look that we'd like, we'll check OK. Our pattern has now moved, so we're able to tell our machine, go ahead and let's stitch out that next row. So we would touch our green go button here. Now, if we're not really sure, did we nest that in there just the way we want it? We can select Set Start and double check. So we can look at where things are along the edge here and say, you know, I think we'll be okay, because as I'm moving along here, I can see that I'm not going to run into anything. This is going to come and nest very nicely within that area. So again, we like the look of it. We can say Set Start and look at it, or we can just say, okay, go ahead, move on over and begin our stitching. Now that our machine has made it to the beginning of our row, we're ready to start stitching that next row. And we can continue nesting our pattern all the way down our quilt top and have a nice, consistent pantograph situation across the entire thing. Thank you for joining us at Tin Lizzie 18, where we're committed to helping quilters of all levels realize their quilting dreams.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Check out our calendar regularly for upcoming webinars, new videos, and classes. Happy quilting!